Welcome back to our ongoing series on creating a mean stack application, a book management website. Here we are using Node.js as the backend server and Angular as the front end. In this session, we will continue building our Angular front end application. Before we start, let us have a quick look at what we have built so far. I'll start the Angular development server. Here, as you can see, we have a single page application where we have different kinds of views where we can see the data related to the books. We have a book list page and we have a router which allows me to navigate from one book page to the other. Now, we have in the process developed our own star rating component. We have developed our own range component. And to get a detail of building the application, you can check out our previous episodes from this series on mean stack development. So far our application is using dummy data, which we have stored in a regular array here. But in real world application, this approach won't work. The data must come from a service, generally a RESTful service, and that is where our Node.js based server will eventually come in. But for now, since we are learning the front end, let us try to get these data from a dummy web API. So the simplest way to create this kind of dummy web API would be, let me create a folder here called API. In this folder, let me create a simple file called books.json. And in this books.json, let me put some dummy records. As you can see, we have 3 records. These records represent a real and a well-known book with their ISBN number, title and other details. So we are taking these 3 books and we will try to first see if these books can be served through my Angular server. And this book is present in the API folder. So I'll head on to my browser and try to check on localhost 3000 API books.json. And you would be surprised that you are brought back to your page where the 404 component is telling that this API is not available. Because Angular's development server redirects all those dynamic URLs to index.html, where the Angular takes over, tries to route this information to a known route. And since there is no known route called API books.json in our route table, we get our wildcard 404 route, for which we have already discussed in our previous session. So how do I serve this data? So to make this route static and accessible outside the Angular index.html framework, we'll go to our project. We'll go to angular.json file, and in the assets section we would be adding an exception rule, and we would say anything which is present in the source API folder should be available as a static data. Now if I go here and try to access this link again, we still don't get the answer, because you may remember Any change in angular.json requires me to restart my development server. So I am going to restart my development server. So now I can try API books.json. And as you can see, now my API is serving the JSON data. Now, this is a dummy data served from my own Angular server, but it serves as a good starting point for seeing how to request data from a RESTful service. So we will check out how to get this data from RESTful service in our next session.